All right, Steeler Nation, before we get into today's exclusive breakdown, let's remember one thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are constantly working to improve, to evolve, and to put themselves in the best possible position to bring winning football back to the city. That's the standard. That's the expectation. So if you believe this team is building something special for 2026, go ahead and smash that like button right now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any updates. By the way, if you're looking for official Steelers gear, jerseys, hoodies, hats, or the new Sideline collection, I left a link to the official store in the description and comment. It helps the channel and keeps you geared up for the season. Because today, we're diving into a situation that is getting more intense by the day, and it revolves around one of the most important young pieces of this defense, Joey Porter Jr. Now let's be real for a second. This should be a simple story. A young, ascending cornerback entering the final year of his rookie deal, coming off 3 straight seasons of improvement, ready to get paid. That's how it's supposed to go in the NFL. But in Pittsburgh, it's not that simple. Because while the fan base is waiting, hoping, expecting an extension to get done, there's a growing concern inside league circles that is starting to change the entire conversation. And it comes down to one word: production. More specifically, ball production. Let's break it down. Through 3 seasons in the NFL, Joey Porter Jr. has recorded just 3 interceptions. 3. Now, on the surface, that might not seem like everything, because we all know stats don't tell the full story. But when you're negotiating a contract that could place you among the highest paid cornerbacks in football, every number matters. Every detail matters. Every weakness gets magnified. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
You can improve discipline. You can get stronger, faster, smarter. But certain instincts, certain natural skills, those are much harder to develop. And that's where the tension begins. Because Joey Porter Jr. is, without question, a lockdown corner. Quarterbacks avoid him. Receivers struggle to create separation. He forces tight windows. He disrupts timing. He brings physicality. And perhaps most importantly, he has cleaned up the penalties that once threatened to limit his game. That's growth. That's development. That's exactly what you want to see. But here's the flip side. In today's NFL, the elite cornerbacks don't just shut players down. They take the ball away. They create turnovers. They flip games. And that's the missing piece in Porter's profile right now. Now, to be fair, there's context here too. Porter doesn't get targeted often. Why? Because he's that good in coverage. Quarterbacks would rather go somewhere else. And when the ball doesn't come your way, your chances to make plays on it are limited. So in a strange way, his biggest strength might also be what's holding his stats back. But here's the problem. When it comes to contract negotiations, teams don't pay for explanations. They pay for results.
Those issues became impossible to ignore. He led the league in missed tackles. Think about that. For a player responsible for anchoring your defense, that's a major concern. Now, here's where things get interesting again. Because 2026 might be his last chance in Pittsburgh. Final year of his deal, new defensive system, new coaching staff, a fresh start. Everything is set up for a bounce-back season. The talent is there. We've seen it before. The question is, can he put it all together? Because if he can, this defense takes a huge step forward. If he can become a consistent, reliable presence, if he can clean up the mistakes, if he can lead without the breakdowns, then suddenly this linebacker group doesn't look like a weakness anymore. But if he doesn't, then the problems we're talking about right now, they get bigger. A lot bigger. And that brings us back to the bigger picture. Because when you combine questions about Joey Porter Jr.'s value, concerns about ball production, uncertainty around Patrick Queen's consistency, you start to see a pattern. This defense, as talented as it is, still has something to prove. And that's what makes the 2026 season so fascinating. Because this isn't about rebuilding. This isn't about development. This is about winning right now.
with a veteran quarterback leading the offense, with expectations rising across the board, with a fan base hungry for another championship, there is no room for uncertainty. So now, Steeler Nation, it's your turn. Do you believe Joey Porter Jr.'s lack of interceptions is being overblown? Or is it a real concern that should impact how much he gets paid? And what about Patrick Queen? Is he ready for a comeback season? Or are these inconsistency issues here too?
He's walking into a locker room full of playmakers, and that's why expectations are rising fast. However, not everyone is convinced this plan will work smoothly. In fact, there's a growing concern that everything could fall apart again, and it revolves around the safety position. Team insider Mark Caboli recently raised a red flag that every Steelers fan needs to pay attention to, because according to him, the entire structure of this defense could be at risk if one key player doesn't return to form: Deshaun Elliott. Now, if you watched the Steelers last season, you know exactly how important Elliott was. He brought physicality, energy, leadership. He was the kind of player that doesn't always show up in highlight reels, but makes everything else work. And then, it all went wrong. After suffering an injury early in the season, Elliott was never fully the same. And eventually, things spiraled when he went down again, forcing major adjustments across the defense. And that's when the domino effect began. Because once Elliott was out, the Steelers had no choice. They had to improvise. They had to get creative. And that's when one of the most controversial decisions of the season happened. Jalen Ramsey moved to safety. Now, let's pause here. Because this offseason, it's building towards something big, and we're going to be here for every moment of it. Let's go, Steeler Nation. He led the Steelers to the playoffs. He made big-time throws. He showed that the arm, the vision, the leadership, it's all still there. Sure, it didn't end the way anyone wanted, but it showed something important. This team is close. Very close. And now, they've made moves to get even closer. Let's talk about the weapons, because one of the biggest reasons to believe in this offense is the upgraded supporting cast. The Steelers didn't sit back this offseason. They made moves. Smart moves. Impact moves. Bringing in players like Michael Pittman Jr., Rico Dowdle, and rookie Jeremy Bernard. And Steelers Nation, this changes everything. Pittman Jr. brings size, reliability, and physicality to the receiving corps. He's the kind of receiver who can move the chains, win contested catches, and be a true security blanket for Rodgers. Then you've got Jeremy Bernard. Young, explosive, full of potential. A player who could grow into a serious weapon as the season progresses. And let's not overlook Rico Dowdle, a running back who adds balance to this offense. Because if there's one thing that helps a veteran quarterback thrive, it's a strong run game. Now imagine this offense at full strength. Rodgers under center, multiple reliable targets, a balanced attack. That's not just good, that's dangerous. But we're not done yet, because there's another huge factor working in the Steelers' favor. Mike McCarthy. Yes, the reunion. Rodgers and McCarthy back together again.